We are on lesson number 79. Let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. Ah. A problem cannot be solved if you do not know what it is. Even if it is actually solved already, you will still have the problem because you cannot recognize that it has been solved. This is the situation of the world. The problem of separation, which is really the only problem, has already been solved. But the solution is not recognized because the problem is not recognized. Everyone seems to have his own special problems. Yet they are all the same and must be recognized as one if the one solution which solves them all is to be accepted. Who can see that his problem has been solved if he thinks the problem is something else? Even if he is given the answer, he cannot see its relevance. That is the position in which you find yourself now. You have the answer, but you are still uncertain about what the problem is. A long series of problems seems to confront you, and as one is settled, the next one and the next arise. There seems to be no end to them. There is no time in which you feel completely free of problems and of peace. The temptation to regard problems as many is the temptation to keep the problem of separation unsolved. The world seems to present you with a vast number of problems, each requiring a different answer. This perception places you in a position in which your problem solving skills must be inadequate and failure must be inevitable. No one can solve all the problems the world appears to hold. They seem to be on so many levels in such varying forms and with such varied content that they confront you with an impossible situation. Dismay and depression are inevitable as you regard them. Some spring up unexpectedly just as you think you have resolved the previous ones. Others remain unsolved under a cloud of denial and race to haunt you from time to time only to be hidden again, but still unsolved. All this complexity is but a desperate attempt not to recognize the problem and not to let it be resolved. If you could recognize that your only problem is separation, no matter what form it takes, you could accept the answer because you would not lose sight of its relevance. Perceiving the underlying constancy is all the problems that confront you. You would understand that you have the means to solve them all, and you would use the means because you recognize the problem. In our longer practice periods, we will ask what the problem is and what is the answer to it. We will not assume that we already know. We will try to free our minds of all the many different kinds of problems that we think we have. Uh-huh. We will try to realize that we have only one problem which we have failed to recognize. We will ask what it is and wait for the answer. We will be told. Then we will ask for the solution to it and we will be told. Our exercises for today will be successful to the extent to which we do not insist on defining the problem. Perhaps we will not succeed in letting all our preconceived notions go, but that is not necessary. All that is necessary is to entertain some doubt about the reality of our version of what our problems are. We are trying to recognize that we have been given the answer by recognizing the problem so that the problem and the answer can be brought together and we can be at peace. The shorter practice periods for today will not be set by time but by need. You will see many problems today, each one calling for an answer. Our efforts will be directed toward recognizing that there is only one problem and only one answer. In this recognition, are all problems resolved. In this recognition, there is peace. Be not deceived by the form of problems today. Whenever any difficulty seems to arise, tell yourself quickly, let me recognize this problem so it can be solved. Then try to suspend all judgment about what the problem is. If possible, close your eyes for a moment and ask what it is. You will be heard and you will be answered. Let me read the footnotes. Even though this lesson has told us that the one problem is separation, in this exercise we are meant to ask with an open mind what that one problem is. This does not mean that the problems might be other than separation. Instead, It means the answer we receive the question, what is the problem, might focus on a particular form of separation or be a way of describing separation that is that is especially relevant for us. So I want to tell you, let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. In the first paragraph, he says, the problem of separation, which is really the only problem, has already been solved. So where he says that seemingly in this world of form, we have so many problems, COVID is one now, that's national problem, that's world problem actually. Then we have national problems, then we have household problems, and then we have personal other problems. So in this world, these are all the different forms of problems, and we keep each one is we have put them in categories. COVID is yay high, this is this much, this is this much, and so we've categorized them and we have put them in these buckets. The only problem, according to this, is the separation from what? Separation from God. We got, when we came here as a body, the guilt that we brought with us is that we got separated from God. And then now to that separation brought us so much guilt and shame and things with it that we kept trying to solve it to actually please God. What did God do? God loves us so much that when we did that, all he did was send in the solution with it. So that problem that we got separated from God was solved the minute we thought we were separated. So all problems were solved. But because we live in the mindset of, oh no, we got separated from God, and so I actually am not going to believe that separation has. I'm not going to believe that problem has solved. That one problem has been solved. I now am helpless to solve the other problems that come around. So where does the ego take us? Ego says, well, let's find out. I'll help you. And so it kind of helps us. We solve one, we immediately there's something else that comes up. And look where he says sometimes it is all of a sudden, like without even giving any what is the word I'm looking for? Any warning, it just comes to you. So we made all that up. We made all that up so that we can remain in that victimhood where we can say, I'm never getting out of this because I feel so guilty staying away from God. I made such a terrible mistake. But God loves us so much. That is the one problem of separation, that we got separated from God, is already solved. That's why let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. Think about it, mull over this. I hope that sheds some light into this lesson today for you and brings some clarity. Do post in your comments if you have any. This is your transformation. This is your journey. Keep coming back. Keep practicing. I love you. I'll see you soon. Have a great day. Have a great week.